Hey everybody, good morning. It is March 21st, 2026, and I want to give an update about my plan to get the cut flower bed going. And I also want to give you a review of the different seedlings that I've been growing inside, which varieties like me, which varieties don't, which ones I think I'll keep doing next year, and the ones that I'm going to say nope to, and my plan for what I'm going to be sowing out, putting seeds directly in the ground. All right, let's go look at some plants. We have blue status here. This is a hallmark of a lot of cut flower gardens, and it's my first year growing them. For whatever reason, I just kind of ignored them before. They are growing very vigorously in this tray. Makes me so excited. And so is the Clarkia. So they're definitely leggy. No, my grow lights aren't super sophisticated. I just have this one light strip here. But it's serving the plants relatively well. I feel confident these are going to do good once they get outside because they're pretty vigorous and they've been holding on with me. This is my tray of Chinese forget-me-nots. They're making me feel very accomplished as a gardener. Look at that gorgeous volume of plants. They just look so darn happy. Eucalyptus. I could not be more thrilled. Now, while I wish this tray was a complete germination situation, like I wish there were more plants here where we didn't have germ, but there's quite a few plants actually going on here. I'm over a month in on these. Some of them start to get dry and kind of peter out, but other ones like this one, they look really happy to me. This one looks terrific. So I'm giving it a go. I'm just going to keep consistent on my watering schedule with them. And then the other thing I've done is kept a heating pad going underneath so that they stay warm, because they are a warm plant. They do not like cool temperatures. So if I can keep them feeling like, hey, it's summer, I'm happy, I think they're going to do well until I get them outside. So let's talk about what isn't working. This is one of my 3 trays of stock. Look at how not happy they are. They're really mad at me. This is just not a great situation. I've tried this 2 years in a row. They hate the soil blocking method, I think. And so down here, very similar situation. Really not working. This stand over here actually looks pretty decently good. Scabiosa, pincushion here, just a few plants, and verbena. And so while it's not a lot, I had hoped to have more. I've got some over here too. I'm just going to try, because I haven't grown those before as a cutting garden flower. So I'm going to try those in the garden, just see what they do. Carnations. These little darlings, they are very happy. We are getting along. I'm noticing new growth here just in the last couple days where they've kind of sprouted this part of the stem up off of the first true leaves. And aren't they darling? Oh, they're so cute. They're kind of curly. We're getting along super great. Here in the sunroom, we have all of our Lisianthus trays. These are the crown jewel, I would say, of all of the different ones I'm growing inside this year. Like I've said before, this is graduate level work, and I finally figured it out thanks to some great guidance from friends and great folks online that have awesome documentation of exactly what steps to take to grow these Lizzies. They just look so happy. And I have 5 trays total of them. And then moving on, snapdragons. So my snaps aren't as far along as some folks are. I'm still figuring out how to grow them. I am finding they do really well in a grid tray like this, or a cell tray like this. And this tray, they look pretty darn happy. You can see some are starting to get bigger and put off more leaves. And then I've been thinning them out. This tray has been partially thinned. You can see there's still clusters of them where I haven't, so I need to do more thinning. Now this tray I have thinned, and it's just kind of bouncing back. I think I thinned them out too early. They're a little bit too young, so some didn't make it. but half the tray looks good. I'm gonna add more to it. And then I've got stock. And this is the set of stock that's actually growing really well. They're probably too leggy. I'm sure I don't have the light down low enough, but to be honest, just don't quite care. It's like, how much effort do you want to put into this stuff? Because you can just lose yourself putting in so much effort. I'm doing the grid tray this time instead of the soil blocks here, and this is doing exactly what I thought it would. It's just a much more consistent moisture situation here, where every one of these grid squares is staying kind of wet so that it doesn't dry out too soon and it's not too variable, which I'm just not a fan of the soil blocks. This is much, much better. Ranunculus. So I've got a bunch of corms in here. I did screw up on this tray where I think I put too much water in the soil. It was more damp than it should have been. I think I just went a little overboard. That said, I still look so great. I just know that there's some in these blank dead zones that didn't come up. So I lost some, but the ones that are here are just fabulous. I'm very happy. My rating overall on these plants, I will be growing all of these again next year. Lizzies are my top favorite to grow. Obviously, you have to start them inside because they take 8 months to mature. And I've really been enjoying the process. It's been really, really rewarding. Snaps, I'm going to continue to grow because they do best if you start them in trays. They're finicky for me, but I'm getting better. I'm learning a lot more as a grower about these. And so it's probably more me than them. Stock, I would say, is a 50-50. We don't always get along. They kind of go in and out. And so I'm really curious to see what this grid tray does, because if it makes it really well to hardening off and out in the field and they look good, then we're good. And I've figured out what I need to do in the future. But if they don't and they go flop on me like they did with the soil blocks, I might cut them from the list. I might not grow them inside anymore because they're just annoying. So this is a very sophisticated cut garden seedling box. So this whole section, these are all my direct sow. I have blue lace flower. So this is a lovely filler flower I've never done before. Queen Anne lace. I'm very optimistic this will be fantastic. Orlea. This is similar to Queen Anne lace. I made a note to myself here so I don't forget. This is a lovely filler as well. I've got some different cosmos here. Those are absolutely stunning. Aster. So I'm definitely trying aster for the first time. They are so gorgeous. They're very similar to like a chrysanthemum. From Fedco Seeds, I'm trying aster there as well. After doing some research, I've really scoured the different types of seed companies. I deliberately went through and checked out their websites and their catalogs to really understand the landscape of who has what and what kind of plants I would be really interested in from each one. This is cress seeds. I thought this was forget-me-not. So these I have not started yet. Excited to use that as a beautiful foliage filler. Saponaria. Nigella, Love in a Mist. This is stunning. Totally worth putting in the ground. Easy to grow. Bachelor buttons, same thing, really easy, gorgeous blue blooms. Canterbury bells. I have tried these one other time 2 years ago. We did not get along, but I'm going to try them again. I'm just going to try to direct sow them, see if I have any more luck. Blue plurum. Love these. Gorgeous, gorgeous foliage filler. Strawflower. Definitely excited to grow them for the first time. I hear nothing but good things. What is this? Coreopsis. So I did grow these last 2 seasons. These are fantastic. They're this airy, small bloom filler, similar to Cosmos. Feverfew. These are like little tiny baby daisies. We didn't get along the first time, but I'm going to try them again because I'm getting better at my growing methods overall, and it's like, well, maybe it was me. We'll try it again. Bells of Ireland, same thing. 2 years, no luck. But you can tell I've got a couple packets. I am determined to give this another shot because they're just so amazing according to so many flower farmers. Ageratum, blue, gorgeous little flowers. I've tried this a few times, and I'm gonna see if this year I have luck again. So I'm hopeful. Celosia, same thing. I tried growing these in tray inside last year. I don't think I hardened them off right, so I'm just gonna try them direct in field. Amaranth. I have not grown these before, and I know they're beautiful, so let's give it a shot. Billy buttons. These just look cute. Never done it before. Zinnias. So this also is an old packet that I've been using for a couple years of the really big, giant, colorful flowers. And then I have a whole bunch of different types that I have very intentionally selected. You know, once about February hit and I had been growing seedling trays in the house since end of December, I started to realize I don't know if I want to do all of these plants inside. I mean, I had this big list that was more than 14, the 14 that I have growing. It becomes a lot of work. It is a lot of labor. So this is the trade-off that I'm learning for me in reality and in actuality as I'm doing it. It's different to just think about it. But as I'm doing it, I'm like, you know, that's a lot of different trays. I don't know if I want to be spending all of the labor and time caring for that many plants. At a certain point, it just becomes like, how many trays do I really want to be monitoring? I've got just under 25 trays of seedlings going on inside the house. That's a lot to maintain. I mean, I have to make sure I'm watering them right, fertilizing them right, just monitoring how they're growing, making sure they're not getting mold, they're not getting fungus. Luckily, knock on wood, we haven't had any like fungus gnat issues. So adding even more plants to that many, I'm just like, no. So as I started to go to plant those trays in February, I started to look even closer at the seedling packets. And if it said on there, direct sow, like sowing the seeds in the ground outside is preferred, I was like, done. I'm not even going to mess with it. So I really like how I'm focusing my energy, like fewer amounts of types of plants in mass inside, and then really focusing outside on the ones that probably will do best outside, so that I'm keeping my sanity and I'm not overextending myself. And just seeing if like the plants like that, because if I'm catering to how they best like to be grown, hopefully we'll have the best outcome.